Chapter 1 Mystery Girl. It all began on a beautiful spring morning in a village called Whistler in Canada, a pretty little village in the mountains of British Columbia. There was a cafe in the village with tables outside, and at one of these tables sat a young man. He finished his breakfast, drank his coffee, looked up in the blue sky, and felt the warm sun on his face. Nick Lost was a happy man. The waiter came up to his table. "More coffee?" he asked. "Yeah, great," said Nick. He gave the waiter his coffee cup. The waiter looked at the camera on the table. "On vacation?" he said. "Where are you from?" "San Francisco," Nick said. He laughed. "But I'm not on vacation. I'm working. I'm a travel writer, and I'm doing a book on mountains in North America. I've got some great pictures of your mountain." The two men looked up at the Whistler mountain behind the village. It looked very beautiful in the morning sun. "Do you travel a lot up then?" asked the waiter. "All the time," Nick said. "I write a book, and I write for a travel magazine. I write about everything. Different countries, towns, villages, rivers, mountains, people." The waiter looked over Nick's hand. "There's a girl across the street," he said. "Do you know her?" Nick turned his head and looked. "No, I don't." "Well, she knows you, I think," the waiter said. "She's watching you very carefully." He gave Nick a smile. "Have a nice day." He went away, back into the cafe. Nick looked at the girl across the street. She was about 25, and she was very pretty. "She is watching me," Nick thought. Then the girl turned and looked at one of the shop windows. After a second or two, she looked back at Nick again. Nick watched her. She looked worried, he thought. What's she doing? Is she waiting for somebody? Suddenly, the girl smiled. Then she walked across the street, came up to Nick's table, and sat down. She put her bag down on the table. The bag was half open. "Hi, I'm Jen," she said. "Do you remember me? We met at a party in Toronto." "Hi, Jen," said Nick. He smiled. "I'm Nick, but we didn't meet at a party in Toronto. I don't go to the party very often, and never in Toronto." "Oh," the girl said. But she didn't get up or move away. "Have some coffee," said Nick. The story about the party in Toronto wasn't true, but it was a beautiful morning, and she was a rich girl. Maybe at a party in Montreal or New York. The girl laughed. "Okay, maybe worse. And yes, I love some coffee. When they had a coffee, Nick asked, "What are you doing in Whistler? Or do you live here?" "Oh no," she said. "I'm just traveling through." "And what are you doing here?" "I'm a travel writer," Nick said. "And I'm writing a book about famous mountains." "That's interesting," she said. But her face was not interested, and she looked across the road again. A man with very short white hair walked across the road. He was about 60 years old, and he was tall and thin. The girl watched him. "Are you waiting for someone?" asked Nick. "Oh no," she said quickly. Then she asked, "Where are you going next, Nick?" "To Vancouver for 3 or 4 days," he said. "When are you going?" she asked. "Later morning," he said. There were letters at the top of the girl's half-open bag. Nick could see someone writing, and he read it because he saw the word Vancouver. "And we can meet at the Empress Hotel Victoria, Vancouver Island, on Friday afternoon." So she's going to Vancouver too, he thought. Suddenly the girl said, "Do you like movie?" "Movie? Yes, I love movie," he said. "Why?" "I know a man and he's love movie and going to the cinema," she said slowly. "People call him Mr. Hollywood." She smiled at Nick. "Can I call you Mr. Hollywood too?" Nick laughed. "Okay," he said. "And what can I call you?" She smiled again. "Call me Mystery Girl," she said. "That's a good name for you," said Nick. Just then, the man with white hair came into the cafe. He did not look at Nick or the girl, but he sat at the table near them. He asked the waiter for some breakfast. Then he began to read a magazine. The girl looked at the man, then quickly looked away again. "Do you know him?" Nick asked her. "No," she said. She finished her coffee quickly and got up. "I must go now," she said. Nick stood up too. "Nice to..." he began, but the girl suddenly took his face between her hands and kissed him on the mouth. "Drive carefully, Mr. Hollywood." "Goodbye," she said, with a big, beautiful smile. Then she turned and walked quickly away. Nick sat down again and watched her. She walked down the road and into the big hotel. Now what, thought Nick, was that all about? The man with white hair watched Nick and waited. After 4 or 5 minutes, Nick finished his coffee, took his books and his camera, and left the cafe. His car was just outside the girl hotel, and he walked slowly along the street to it. The man with white hair waited a second, then quickly followed Nick. From the window, high up in the hotel, the girl looked down into the road. She saw Nick and the man with white hair about 50 yards behind him. Nick got into his car, and the man with white hair walked quickly to the red car across the street. 5 seconds later, Nick drove away in his blue car, and the red car began to follow him. When the girl saw it, she smiled, then went to put something in his travel bag. Chapter 2. A hand in a bag. That evening, in his hotel room in Vancouver, Nick could not stop thinking about the girl in the winter cafe. Why did she come and sit with him? She didn't know him, and that story about a party in Toronto wasn't true, and she was worried about something. But what? And that kiss. It was nice, of course, but why did she do it? Maybe she liked my face, Nick thought, or my brown eyes. But I'm not going to see her again, so it doesn't matter. Forget it. He put some money in his pocket and went down the stairs to the hotel restaurant. But there were no free tables, so we walked down to get and found the restaurant there. After dinner, he went for a walk. Vancouver was a friendly city, and Nick liked to walk to Gatown and Chinatown, looking at the shop and watching the people. It was nearly dark now. There was a lot of cars and a lot of people. After a time, Nick began to walk back to his hotel. He came to a busy street and waited with a crowd of people to go across. A tall woman in a blue dress stood next to him. She turned, then smiled at him. "His first warm evening in spring," he said. "It's nice to be out after the long, cold winter." "Yes," said Nick. "It's great, it's..." Suddenly, there was a hand in his bag, and the hand pushed Nick into the road. Nick fell on his face. In front of a big green car, people screamed, but the green car stopped only inches from Nick's head. The woman in the blue dress ran in the road and pulled Nick to his feet. "Are you okay? What happened?" she said. The driver of the green car shouted angrily at Nick, but Nick did not hear him. "Somebody pushed me," he said to the woman. "I didn't fall. Somebody pushed me." "Push you?" said the woman. "Who?" "I didn't see anybody." Nick looked at the faces people near him, but he didn't know them. Then he saw a man back. The man was tall and thin, and had very short white hair. He walked quickly away down the street and did not look back. "Hey, you!" Nick shouted. "Wait!" But the man did not stop, and he was soon lost to the crowd. "Did he push you?" asked a woman in the blue dress. I don't know," Nick said. "Do you know him?" she asked. "I don't know his name," Nick said. "But I know that short white hair. Now, where did I see it before?" The woman began to move away. "I must get home," she said. "Are you okay now?" "Yeah, I'm okay," Nick said. "And thanks for the help." "That's okay," the woman smiled. "Be careful now." Back in the hotel, Nick sat on his back and thought. It was an accident. Nobody pushed me. It was an accident. Nobody wanted to kill me. And hundreds of men covered with white hair were across in the morning. But Nick couldn't sleep. He listened to the car around and he looked at the night sky through the hotel window. Then he sat at the table and tried to write some more books about mountain. But he couldn't think about his words. He got back on his back. There were 4 or 5 magazines in the hotel room. They were not very interesting, but Nick sat on bed and opened one and saw a photo of Mystery Girl. He looked at the picture very carefully. But it was her. Jan, the girl from the Whistler Cafe. She was next to a man of about 50 or 55, and they was in the garden of a big, expensive house. They smiled at the camera, and they looked very happy. Kenya millionaire Howard Hudson and his daughter Meg, it says on the picture, at their home in Toronto. Meg Hudson, not James, not Mystery Girl. Meg Hudson, the daughter of the millionaire. Nick read it again. Why did she come and sit with me in the cafe in Whistler, he thought. Millionaire daughter don't sit with strangers in cafe and then give this biggest. Why does she look it? What does she want? He thought back to the cafe in Whistler and the girl next to him at the table. Then he remembered something. He remembered a man at the table near them in the cafe. A tall, thin man, about 60 years old. A man with very short, white hair. Nick didn't sleep much that night.